And when your pricing is not aligned with the rest of your brand, people go, what's wrong? You're actually going to hear this, you're going to hear Ken Davis tomorrow, but I remember one story Ken shared, and it was when he was starting out as a speaker. He may share this, and he was really nervous on what to charge people. Someone heard him speak, and they invited him to come to their business to speak, and he didn't have his positioning in place yet. He was just starting out. And I've done some work for Ken, so I know him, I love him. And he gave him a number, and you know what the guy said? It was too low, right? The number was so low. He said, oh, I'm sorry. We only hire professionals, and walked away. Whoa. Think about that. Positioning, not aligned with your product and your price, you have a misaligned brand. So some of you need to start charging a little bit more, because when it comes to step 3, you want to reach a higher end market. Anyone want to reach a higher end market? Raise your hand, be proud, yes. Okay, I want you to write down right now on your notebook paper, what's the most expensive thing I can buy from you right now? Write down that number, whatever number that is. What is the most expensive thing I can buy from you right now? Those of you who want to be in the high-end market. Anyone have something like $997? We like that in internet marketing world. We think it's a magic number. $997? Anyone have anything? For $997. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Put a 0 next to it on the end. I'm telling you, put a 0 next to it. Like right now, I'm one of these practical guys. Jeff told you, write it down. Anyone else, in any market you're in, what's the most expensive thing I can buy from you right now? Write down that number. If it's a book and it's $12, $13, I want you to write a 0 after that. Now, right now, I'm taking time away from my own talk. Right now, whatever that number is, I want you to write down the first thing that comes into your mind about creating a product that's that much money. You have a $13 book, I want you to think, what can I buy from you? What would you create if I said I would give you $130? For those of you who said, I'm charging $997 for something, what could I buy from you that would cost $9,970? Could you come up with something? Would it be a retreat? Would it be a high-end event? Would it be a 90-day coaching or consulting arrangement? Go ahead, write it down. Because I want you to leave with this on a piece of paper, and I'm going to make you take a picture of it and make it the wallpaper on your phone for the rest of this conference. So that every time you look at your phone, you see that number staring at you. That's your product. That's how good you are. Am I making you feel good? Kind of challenged and stretched at the same time. I'm trying to do a little warm fuzzy here thing. That's not what we do where I'm from. But I'm going to encourage you. When you have your positioning, the price becomes really, really easy to understand. Now, once you have your pricing, it becomes very easy to write your pitch. And you know what your pitch is? It's your verbal identity. This is your sales copy. This is copywriting. My marketing background is rooted in copywriting. I know how important words are, and I'm not talking to people who don't understand this. I'm preaching to the choir here. When you influence language, you influence thinking. That's a good one. I don't have a slide for it. When you influence language, you influence thinking. Words have made people fly on different airlines, buy different clothes, and then as soon as it gets to marketing, all of us writers and creatives say, no, this is not going to work. My sales copy's not going to work. This isn't going to do anything for my business. No, once you have all these preceding steps lined up, your pitch becomes very, very clear. I'm pretty sure if you went to work at Louis Vuitton in their marketing department, the word discount is banned. It's not in their vocabulary. Actually, the best brands, the most global brands, you may not know this, have words that they are and are not allowed to use. They actually, you know how many graphic designers do we have in the room? Web designers? Okay, so those of you who are in that space, you know brand elements. And if you hire a good graphic designer, a good web developer, they will tell you, use these colors and use these colors only. Use these fonts and use these fonts only. But the biggest brands, they have the same thing with their verbal identity. They're not allowed to say certain words in their marketing material. And they have entire pamphlets laid out this way. So when they hire copywriters, they say, you must write our campaigns and you cannot use these words. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. So this is your verbal identity. And so if you've ever bought a copywriting product or a book, that's where that fits. But if you're not sure how to write your page, you might want to look back at some of the preceding steps and say, have I really firmly established my positioning? Have I built the right product for them? Have I priced it appropriately? Am I telling people it's a $9,997 product and my sales page says, yo, what's up? Awesome to see you here on my page. I want 10 grand from you, lol. I'm not paying that kind of money for a brand like that because there's misalignment. All right, so we have the pitch, and of course the last step here, partners. If you're wondering why people aren't partnering with you, aren't kicking your door down, trying to team up with you, why they're not inviting you, I'm going to get real raw, to speak at their conferences or events, why they're not referring you to other people, it's because the previous steps aren't built out. Because when you have all of this in alignment, it becomes very easy for others to understand who you are, what you do, and why you do it. And it becomes very easy to recommend you. I'm in a room full of word nerds. And the word commend, we know, means to praise. So to recommend literally means to praise again. And so I tell my students, I tell the people who are in my mastermind groups, I tell my clients, be recommendable. If I told you tomorrow I leverage my relationship with some influencer that I have, or just ask my friend Jeff for a favor, and you're going to get on his podcast, he's going to interview you on his podcast, how many of you freak out? A little bit? How many feel like you're totally ready? Okay. If you're totally ready, it means that you've looked through this stuff, or maybe you're just deluded. You got to be ready for the influx of influence that can potentially come your way in this world. There are folks who are checking out your shopping mall even right now, and you don't even know it. And if this stuff isn't laid out, you lose out on a potential opportunity. But when you have all of these 7 steps laid out, guess what? You start building a real put-together tribe. People who will literally buy your book before they even know what it's about. You just told me you would. Why? You know him. Are these things clear when you look at Jeff's brand? Do you know his story? Yes? Do you know where to go to find out more about him? What platform he's on? His website. My website. Positioning. He has products for the right position group. And he prices them appropriately, and he pitches it appropriately. He has partners all over the personal brand space that will gladly promote his products because they're so easy to grasp and to understand. When we have these things in alignment, we start building a powerful and very profitable personal brand. So here's what I'd like you to do. We got about 2-3 minutes left. I want on your notebook to write these steps out. You'll get these slides if you want them, but I want you to just write these things, one on top of each other, like a checklist. Have I written my personal story? Following some of the stuff that Jeff has taught, we've learned in his programs. Have you done that? If not, don't worry about anything else yet. Stop trying to figure out the sales page for a product that doesn't exist because you haven't even considered the positioning of your brand yet. It's a waste of time. It's sideways energy. So if you got personal story, put a check mark next to it and go up to your platform. Is your platform like that Walmart/Louis Vuitton hybrid ad that I showed you that I totally made up, or is the message clear? If the message is clear, cool, put a check next to platform. But if it's not, here's what you do. You ask people in the tribe community, am I sending you mixed messages when you look at my webpage? Am I telling you how to, in my business, look good on camera and I have horrible photos on my own website? I've always found it very amusing when designers would want you to hire them to design their website and their website doesn't look good. I always found it odd when copywriters would say, I would love to write copy for you, and then I go to their website and it's full of typos. That's like my fitness trainer being 300 pounds overweight and saying, hey, I'm on the journey with you. I'll see you later. I want to give me the dude who's ripped.